okay.
Schnitzel and Brussels sprouts. That's what I'm eating right now.
That's weird. I'm having Brussels sprouts tomorrow.
I don't think I've had Brussels sprouts like this in years. It's crazy. It's pretty good. Usually I don't like Brussels sprouts.
If I don't...
Don't push them. I don't like them. Brussels sprouts is something like that is not really high on my vegetable want list.
I love Brussels sprouts.
I like Brussels sprouts.
Welcome back to Nightcap Chat, the pop culture podcast. We talk all things comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, Brussels sprouts, and more. Today, we are talking some comic books and the first couple of episodes of WandaVision and maybe some Schnitzel. I'm Blade O'Neill.
I'm Ken Brown, eating Schnitzel.
I'm Lance O'Neill, not enjoying his Schnitzel.
Okay, we were having a bit of a false start here. Ken is enjoying some Schnitzel.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice pork chop made of handmade breadcrumbs.
I mean,
that's a 3-part process.
That's classic. That's classic. I mean, if you can make your own breadcrumbs,
you have to burn the bread.
Oh,
because you have to beat the bread to death to try to get it into crumbs. Because I guess fresh bread doesn't make good breadcrumbs.
I mean, who would have thought?
No matter how bad you toast it. Yeah. Well,
if we're gonna talk about food and snacks, I stopped at Sprouts before the podcast before I started dinner, and I bought some sesame sticks. And the Sprouts over here finally had sesame sticks that weren't flavored, because the Sprouts in the north part of the valley, they had all these flavored ones, but they finally just had regular sesame sticks. And I just want to encourage all of our listeners, if you don't know what sesame sticks are, if you haven't had sesame sticks, please try sesame sticks. They're awesome.
Yeah, you're missing out, dude. That's the two. I got stuck with the Asiago ones in my side of town.
Yes.
Not a big fan of Asiago flavor.
That's what I was stuck with too. Mm-hmm. So especially if you have a Sprouts in your, assuming you live in the United States and assuming your state has a Sprouts, because I was looking at our listenership, and gosh, there was a couple of countries I haven't even seen before. So of course, thank you all for listening. No matter what country you're listening to us in, we're humbled by that. So thank you so much for your support there. Thank you.
So you define us what Sprouts is then for the people around the world that don't have the pleasure of having
yes. Sprouts. If you're not familiar with it, a Sprouts is like I'm sure they know what you guys say, but it's like I think it's like a healthy grocery store.
Right.
That's what I think that too. Healthier options grocery store.
You know what I have for a snack next to me right now? I haven't eaten in a while.
Sesame stick.
Oyster crackers.
Oyster crackers.
Talk about something.
You got to some clam. You got to get some clam chowder for that.
Nah, you just eat them. Just pop in your mouth.
They are good. I don't like clam chowder.
Yeah.
So I have to.
You guys are from New York, right?
Clam chowder makes it louder.
Oh goodness. Yeah, we are from New York, but
anything from Boston is not in.
No, I don't.
Yes, but no.
I still think, from what I understand from the people in New York that I knew, I always thought they said New England clam chowder was the best clam chowder. I don't like clam chowder. I don't know, and I don't care. But that's just my general understanding.
I have a strong feeling that we're going to hear it from Steve after this little part.
Oh, yeah. Steve is from Boston. That's the preface for that comment. So it'll be interesting to see.
Not to suck up, but that's the only soup I used to eat for a while was chicken noodle soup and clam chowder.
New England clam chowder?
Any kind of clam chowder.
Interesting.
It was weird. I like chowder.
See, I'm a French
like the Patriots, but I like the chowder.
That's okay.
I just don't really like soup, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm not big into soup, but French onion soup, man.
French onion solid if it's done well, and so is cheddar broccoli soup from Panera is pretty solid too.
Can we agree tomato soup's like the worst soup invented?
That's just nonsense. That's not even
soup. To play devil's advocate for this, if you dip your grilled cheese in it, it's like a nice sauce. but I wouldn't call it soup.
Right, but it's like it is sauce. It's like, hey, you want a bowl of sauce? No, nobody wants a bowl of sauce.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Bunch of nonsense. It's like watered down ketchup that's heated up.
Yeah.
Bunch of nonsense.
Fair. But I just had to play the devil's advocate for tomato soup. Because yes, I mean, unless you're trying to get skunk off of you, I mean, what's the point?
That's true. If you're camping, tomato soup's the best.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't eat it; you just pour it on you to get the skunk smell off you, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a utilitarian purpose. So bonus if you guys need that for your apocalypse bug out bag. Tomato soup. Oh, I just dropped my notes. All right. Oh my goodness!
This is a pretty off-track podcast, even for us.
we just started off track. That's what today is.
Susan might be onto something. My wife in the background.
Okay.
This is the most enjoyably funny podcast she's heard yet from us.
We're
so
on
maybe
this.
We could change from pop culture to food culture.
Food culture.
Food culture. I mean, I would argue that food is a part of pop culture right now, and I would love to do food more often. Although, not to make us look bad, one of our worst performing episodes was when we talked about McDonald's toys. So I don't know if that had to do with the toys or food.
Yeah, probably McDonald's toys.
Yeah.
Because McDonald's food's not much to scream home about.
And their toys today
are
not much.
For the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And I was craving a Big Mac for the first time in about 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
I had the Big Mac.
Yeah.
It was so good because I haven't had them in a while.
Yeah.
Within 15 minutes, I felt like I need to get my stomach pumped.
Okay. So
I don't know if that means my stomach's changing, or the Big Mac was not cooked right, or it was
it's your body's not adjusted to eating garbage and nonsense, and it was just like, what are you doing to me?
And I'm going to support both of you guys here and saying, like, every, I don't know, maybe like once a month, let's say, roughly, like I just want a Big Mac, maybe also like a 10-piece chicken nuggets, or maybe just 2 Big Macs and a large fry. But it's a guilty pleasure. But I eat that for lunch, and like I don't want to eat dinner. It's just sitting in my stomach. I feel like crap. Is it worth it? I don't know, because I love it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I said the Big Mac is one of my favorite fast food staples in all of history.
Yep.
But it's just I can't do them as much anymore, which is oh man, dude. My
stomach is not happy with me anymore. I'm right there with you, but I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment when it comes to the Big Mac.
No, don't get me wrong. Like 6 months, I'll try it again and think the results will be different. It will be the same.
Yep. Yeah. I completely agree. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll probably do it like in a week or two.
14-day window. That's the.
Yep, that's right.
Gosh, you go 14 days without a Big Mac, you can recover.
I go 14
recovery
days.
Program.
There's just the good McDonald's was on the way to the mall when I lived in Surprise, so it was a little easier to access McDonald's. Here, they all are slow and they suck. Yeah. So it does negate my McDonald's enjoyment. So we've only had McDonald's 2 or 3 times since August, which is pretty good.
That's not bad.
Lance is calculating.
They introduced blueberry muffins onto their menu, and that kind of piqued my interest because
just the muffin top.
Yeah, the blueberry muffin. No, it's actually the whole muffin they're doing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Seinfeld reference.
The what?
Seinfeld reference.
Oh, sorry.
Just getting off track.
My bad. That's like that. I've not seen every episode of Seinfeld. That's kind of like my Lord of the Rings guilty pleasure admission. I have not seen every episode of Seinfeld either.
You make me sad.
The black and white.
Anyway,
I know, dude.
The blue. Have you had their blueberry muffin?
Yes, they're actually quite tasty. They're better than Dunkin' Donuts blueberry muffins.
Interesting.
They're actually a little bit better than. I don't know if they're better than Starbucks. They're pretty close, but it's smaller than a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts blueberry muffin. But I'm pretty pleased with the fast food attempt for a blueberry muffin from McDonald's. So too, if you get like a coffee and a blueberry muffin, you're pretty much set for your diabetic coma for the day.
Okay.
But
Speaking,
it's pretty good. That's why I just stopped doing it, because I realized my body was starting to feel like crap just because I'm enjoying these flavors.
Yeah.
Listen, I had to kind of, I'm going through a cleanse right now. I'm trying to cleanse all this crap out of my body because I could really feel it kind of lugging me down like vision. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not there yet. Kind of like a robot chewing gum.
I see what you did there.
Reference. Trying to bridge us over, but I'm going to derail us again.
Okay,
man,
cool.
McDonald's. Love their apple pie.
Their apple pies are good, but I haven't had one in about 6 years.
But they changed them. They don't deep fry them anymore. Now they bake them, trying to give us this healthy nonsense. Like, come on. Like, I'm coming to McDonald's. Just fry the pie. Come on.
I'm not going to Super Salad or Salad. I'm coming to McDonald's.
Like, don't bake my pie. Deep fry that stuff. We're gonna make it nice and fattening, and just give it to me. You know.
Yes. It's funny that you say that too, because about 15, 20 years ago, didn't chicken tenders taste 10 times better than what they do now?
Yes.
And I think it was because they cooked them in lard back in the day, and now they're cooking them in peanut oil or some kind of healthy oil that I care not to taste, because I can get that bland flavor at home, but I don't know all of the MSG ingredients that make everything taste great that they used to pour into fast food. But now it's a little bit more healthy conscious, which is, once again, I don't think I'm going to get a healthy meal when I go to McDonald's, but maybe I should start thinking that way now. I guess. I don't know.
Can I just ask something real quick before we
Yes.
Who the hell goes to Burger King? Does anyone here go to Burger King?
Dude,
how are they still open? Who goes there? I don't understand. It makes no sense. I've never met a single person. They're like, "Hey, I had Burger King last night. It was great." Or "Hey, you want to go get Burger King with me?" Never in my life I think I've ever heard that sentence. Who goes there? There's never anyone in the parking lot. How are they still open? There has to be. It's like a front for something else. I swear. I don't know what they do there, but I don't know.
It's a front for IBS medication.
Oh, I have a very. Oh yes, I know what.
We just lost the sponsorship with Burger King. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Well,
dude, the King's got that mean flamethrower though, dude. Maybe that's it. The commercials. You hope that you're going to get actually a flame broiled burger when you go through that drive-through and watch them actually flame it up. And I don't even really see those flame barbecues in there anymore. Do they still do the flame broiling inside there, or is it flame broiled beforehand, then thrown into like a heat lamp and then put onto your sandwich? I don't know.
That's probably
what it is. Yeah.
I will say for Burger King, for a while there, about once a year, I'm just like, man, oh man, I want a Whopper.
Yeah.
And I go and get a Whopper, and I get some onion rings because Burger King's fries are garbage. And I just feel like utter trash. And then I regret it. And I regret it for an entire year. But I must say, over the last couple of years, I have not got Burger King. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I guess
what kind of turned me away from Burger King too is like a Big Mac. Do they charge you extra for the cheese? The cheese is included, right?
Yeah, it's a sesame seed bun, meat, cheese, pickles, special sauce. I don't know how.
When you go to Burger King, they a la carte everything for you. You know, it's like that. No, I want my Whopper with cheese. Why do I have to pay extra for my Whopper with cheese? I'll just go across the street and get my Big Mac with cheese. No extra charge.
That was the worst attempt at a song I've ever heard.
That wasn't even the right order. Buns. I think I got Teen Titans stuck in my head.
Like beef patty. He's just like meat.
There's meat in there, or something. I don't know. Something brown.
Yeah. It passes for me. I'll eat it if it tastes good.
Okay, that was our 15 minutes of getting off track here. Yes, thank you for putting up with that, and thank you for listening. Of course, we talk about pop culture, and I don't really have a good way of segueing, if that's a word, into comic books, but we're just going to jump into comic books before we jump into WandaVision. I read the High Republic comic.
Ooh, me too.
I haven't, but that's
Lance hasn't. So Lance is just going to ask questions. It is fine. I'll tell you why. Because first of all, I don't know how it relates to the book. I haven't started the book. I own the book. I have the book. I'm going to start it. What's today? Today's Monday. I'm going to start it. Do you want the book? If you tell me you listen to it, I'll send it to you as soon as we get it off.
It's an audio book? That's cool.
It can be, if you want it to be.
That'd be awesome.
If that's what you like.
Yeah, I probably don't get much time to read full novels because I'm trying to read all the comic books to get as much information as I can. But if it's something I can listen to in the car, I might.
Okay, then I'll send it to you. So maybe we'll all read the novel, / listen to the novel, and talk about it later. But so I read the comic book. It's issue 1. I mean, obviously there was some setup here. I don't know who any of these people were except for Yoda. But it was good. I can't complain. I do have complaints, but they're not deal breakers for sure.
Complaints you have.
Complaints you have. Yes. Got introduced to a new Jedi. Well, I guess they were all new Jedis.
Okay.
And one Padawan that was completing her Jedi training.
Yes, that was pretty much the premise of it. It was a Padawan completing her Jedi training from her master who got his arm cut off, but he was the same race of alien as was the bounty hunter Bosk. Yes, thank you. So apparently they regenerate, so he's still waiting for his arm to grow back. I don't know if that happens in the novel, if that's what that was all a reference to. I will say I felt like it was predictable and perhaps shallow. I'm not saying it was bad. I enjoyed it still. That planet was interesting, and he has there's this little like fairy looking guy with a big head, and I've never seen anything like that in Star Wars. So it was interesting to explore this new part of the galaxy, I think.
It was pretty cool. What I liked about it was the reverence for Jedi. Like they were almost like legendary, like pop stars or like the Elvises of the galaxy. It seemed like they were so excited to see, oh, you're a Jedi. I've been in presence of one. I've heard so many great things about you type of attitude, and was so like enamored. Yeah, like the Beatles with like having this Jedi inside of their planet or on their planet. And it was interesting. Like, you had the whole Obi-Wan Anakin type of feel to it with the Jedi and the Padawan.
Yeah.
Like where she had a little bit of a salty attitude mouth, and she just has, a little bit of a, like that was a space language, I guess is the best way to put it.
She kept space cursing.
Yes, she kept on space cursing. And I found that was kind of interesting, is like that she completed the trials with ease, but then you could tell that her master was not too excited about her getting her Jedi ship. A little bit like how Obi-Wan and Anakin kind of had that experience back in the day of like Anakin feeling like that he's entitled and he's ready because he did everything just as good as any other Jedi.
Well, she didn't complete the trials.
The what?
She didn't complete the trials. The bugs interrupted her, the giant bug things, because she was trying to get the necklace that was on top of the pillars. The bugs interrupted, and she did not get to finish the trials. She ended up saving that village instead.
Okay.
But that's why they allowed her to pass, because she was selfless in completing her trials. She went to go save this village from destruction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's still very Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Something very Anakin would have done, like just went in being reckless, or quote reckless.
Make like that kind of step out of the code just to make sure that you save the day attitude type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And but I know what you mean. It was like kind of like that last page of her master kind of getting an epiphany. What do you think the epiphany was at the end there? It's like you got a force vision or something.
That's definitely what it was, and all he said was like no. So I don't know. I think it was just an omen of things to come. And maybe he sees the death of somebody, maybe of his Padawan or something. Just my prediction, but obviously it's something bad, and that was meant to be the cliffhanger.
So I don't want to be like I haven't read it, so it's hard for me to say anything. And I don't want to be like the negative person throwing something in there, but it has to be something different than right? Like it can't be like, oh, she's gonna be turn into evil. Like we've seen this 7 times already. You know what I mean? Like, well, not 7, yeah, 3 times already. You know, so you know what I mean? Like something else has to happen. She can't be like, oh, she's gonna turn bad, and now it's the bad guy versus the
you're right. And I think it is going to be that, because we know where the High Republic era is as far as the Star Wars timeline goes. So right now we're at a point for the Jedi where they haven't seen a Sith in almost a millennium. So there's none of these people are going to become Sith or anything. The next Sith to pop up from the High Republic era going forward is Palpatine and Darth Plagueis. So obviously we're not getting nobody's becoming a Sith right now for these stories. So it's going to be interesting to see
what the evil
is
in the story.
Because there is evil in the novel, I know, in the form of these kind of like pirates or something, but I suspect there's more to it than that.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe that's that's pretty funny. But yeah, it was good. Shallow, but it was good. I expected to pick up from here, and I don't know how it ties into the novel, if at all, because I think the blonde lady who knights her is on the cover of the High Republic novel. I don't know. I can't tell. I didn't look into it. I just want to be surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on board. As I said too, it wasn't the best I ever read, but it wasn't the worst I ever read either, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I kind of, I think I'm going to get invested in the characters the more I see them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like that. There's a lot of power shifting happening in that issue. It seemed like that's. I wish I could remember all the names of the characters, but wasn't someone quickly put into a place of power?
So that blonde lady Jedi, I don't remember any of their names either. She became the Grand Marshal of their beacon, whatever their starship beacon thing was.
Okay, yeah.
That's about as clear as I can make that.
Okay.
She got promoted to that. But yeah, it was good. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we move on to WandaVision?
I read a new Image book
this
week that was written by the same writer who does Ice Cream Man. And when Ice Cream Man came out, I'm trying to remember, I think his last name's Prince. I'm trying to remember his first name right now. I apologize. I'm sounding uneducated right now about the books I want to talk about. But I was pretty pleased with it. And I think it's going to be a really good series because I kind of think that's
Maxwell Prince.
First of all.
Maxwell Prince.
Maxwell Prince. Thank you, dude. That's his name. And he did the book Ice Cream Man, which was critically acclaimed right now.
Okay.
Kind of like a Crypt Keeper type of storytell, with the Ice Cream Man being the Crypt Keeper type of guy telling these like Twilight Zone amazing stories or Tales from the Crypt type of stories revolving around the Ice Cream Man being in the neighborhood. But this new one that just came out, it's called Haha that he's writing.
Okay.
And it's about the tragic life of clowns.
Oh god.
Oh my.
And clowns are as creepy as all of Get Out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to try not to cuss too much, curse words like that Star Wars character.
Yeah.
It is such a cool first issue that I did not quite expect, because everyone was thinking, oh, this is going to be like a Joker story. And it's not a Joker story at all. It's very kind of uniquely situational. It's going to be, each issue is going to be episodic, which is really easy to follow. As a reader, you don't have to sit there and feel like you're behind, unless we're going to have some kind of underlying story happening here. But the first story had a beginning, a middle, and an ending, and it worked well. And I said too, the art was good in it. It was fun to see a different twist on, since the Joker is so popular right now, not taking the easy way out of making it like an It type of clown thing or a Joker type of clown thing where the person's just completely crazy. There is some craziness in it, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of about this. Do you want me to tell you the premise, or do you just want me to let you guys read on your own?
I googled it, and this all looks freaky. So yeah.
It opens up with this guy who is a clown at a circus in the area, and it's a festival that's in the area, and he's got a wife and 2 kids. The wife kind of trolls him about being a clown, about how he's never going to go anywhere, about being a clown. But this guy just loves being a clown. It is kind of dark, as I said too. There's some darkness to the story, but his attitude is always he loves life. He loves being a clown. He loves entertaining. That's his. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. He just loves being a clown. Well, he goes to work that day, and he finds out from his boss that the circus is. Or the festival is not getting as much funds as it needs, and they're going to cut out their clown program. And he's kind of a little bit like, oh man, like seriously? It's like that. He goes, no, it's like that. It's nothing towards you. You're a great clown. You do a good job. You're amazing at what you do, but unfortunately, there's just not much love for clowns at festivals anymore. And so we're going to give you a severance package, and it's like that. It is what it is, and we wish you a good life. And so he goes and talks to his best friend that is also a clown with him too as well, and they're leaving the clown, the festival, and in the parking lot, his best friend hits him over the head with a club and tries taking his money.
Oh my gosh!
And it's a super dark story, but it's interesting how it's both dark and bright at the same time. I've never read a story that was this dark, but yet so optimistic at the same time. And so he's kind of like, sitting there next to the car, like, what the heck is like that? Lucky for me, I put my check, my severance check, inside my sock and not in my wallet, because the guy took his wallet but not his check, so we still had his money. To, do you know what I mean? To kind of live off of until he decides what he's going to do next. Well, he goes to the bank to deposit his check, and guess what happens at the bank?
It bounces.
No, he's there in the middle of a robbery.
Oh.
And people coming in like baby masks, if I remember correctly. They're more or less trying to rob the bank, and he's kind of like going, oh my gosh, dude, this day can't get any worse, but I'm going to do the right thing. And just he starts laughing at him. He goes, it's like, well, you guys have no idea what you're doing. This is just so freaking stupid. And the guys, the robbers are going, stop your laughing. They're starting to get nervous, and they're going. The other robbers kind of like, dude, we're not supposed to kill anybody. This he's not taking me seriously. Like, I take you seriously. I'm a freaking clown. I don't take anything serious. And it's just kind of like, why don't you guys just go and It's like, so after enough antagonization, the bank robber does shoot the guy in the head. And the clown got shot in the head by the bank robber. And so the next 5 to 6 pages is a psychedelic dream of his life and everything that's kind of happened to him. And the next thing you know is he gets brought to a hospital, and he survived. The bullet went cleanly through his brain, and he didn't die. And so you're thinking like, this guy's going to become a psychopath. What's going to happen here? It's like it's like he wakes up and it's like that. Wow, dude, it's like, this is like my second chance. So, he goes home, and after more or less this 5 or 6 pages of psychedelics, I don't really, you have to read it to kind of get all the interpretation on the stuff, but it was more or less his life flashing in front of him, psychedelic way. And it was a bit of a humorous type of, I don't know if you've ever seen Deadly Class.
No.
At all?
No.
Okay, well, one of the episodes of Deadly Class is when one of the kids had a mushroom for the first time, and it was too over acid. Okay, it was an acid piece of paper, and it was very reminiscent to that, where it was just looked like a trip, but obviously the bullet going through his head, hit the trigger points of his brain to go into this coma that was just madness, but it was very well done. But then he goes home, and he's happy he's still alive, and it's like that he survived the day from hell, I guess you could say, and he was still like that. It's almost like that whole trope. It's like that, what doesn't kill me just makes me stronger. And that's what I think more or less the message of the book was. And it was actually unexpected. I mean, I was going, this is actually really good. I can't see where it goes next, but that was just the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And the next story is going to be about a female looking princess clown. Yeah. That is going to be the next story on the cover. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I was pretty impressed. It's doing really well on eBay, surprisingly, which I don't know how people missed ordering on this book, because we ordered pretty heavy on it too. It sold out for us because I guess a lot of other stores sold out of it. And then it's got that whole online spin of people, I guess, appreciating it just as much as I thought it was cool too as well. But it's a book to keep an eye on, is haha. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's made into a TV series, because Ice Cream Man was optioned. His other book was optioned to be a TV series. And this one I think feels better as a TV series than Ice Cream Man.
Huh. Hashtag
especially the whole
problems.
thing of AIDS and Joker and all kinds of stuff. So it'll be some fun clown stories, I think.
What did you say, Lance?
I said hashtag clown problems.
Yeah, hashtag clown problems. I know, dude. Who would have guessed? Right?
I've been Googling this Ice Cream Man and while you were talking here, and man, it's making my heart race. It's freaky.
It's creepy stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of reminds me of Joe Hill type of horror. Is like that. It's an innocent horror storytell, but it's still dark. And do you know what I mean? It's it's not what you expect. It's not tropic. It's more or less there's some thought behind the horror rather than just easy horror.
Yeah, it looks
Scott
weird.
Snyder type of stuff too. Can do that really well as well.
Blade, remember the Ice Cream Man growing up?
Yeah, what about
awesome. I don't know. I was just thinking about when he kept saying Ice Cream Man, and I was just like, oh yeah. Remember at the end, the last day when he would just come by and give us bags of ice cream, because it was the last day of the year he was delivering.
Yeah, get rid of the product so we'd have.
That's cool. So you guys got free ice cream and candy from the Ice Cream Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were good customers.
That's cool.
When he came on the block, and then the Ice Cream Man also sold those popper things that you throw at the ground and they pop,
Oh yeah, snap caps.
Yeah, but I don't know what you call them, but they look like little paper balls with a tip.
Yeah, they're like the little white pieces of paper with explosives in it. You throw them on the ground, they go pop.
Yep.
I used to love those things, dude.
Got ice cream and those little pop things from the Ice Cream Man. He's a good guy.
Yes.
Respect the hustle,
Yep.
Yes.
Speaking of all this crazy stuff, some crazy stuff happened with the first couple episodes of WandaVision. It is here. It is great, and we're just gonna jump right into it. Man, was that good or what?
Yeah. I was impressed. I said too. It's I like old TV series, so you have half the battle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was definitely fun.
I grew up every night, because I always had sleeping problems my entire life. When I was a little kid, I used to try watching TV because it sometimes helped me go to sleep. But after basically everything was no longer on TV, it would go to the Honeymooners and Gilligan's Island and all the old shows, and I used to love watching them as a kid. And I still love watching them to this day. And this show, they did such a good job in encapsulating and capturing those type of shows, like the Dick Van Dyke Show and everything. Bewitched, yeah, they did such a good job. I applaud them from the corny lines to just how it looks and how it felt. It was so well done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Listen too, it was I Love Lucy in there, Bewitched, as you said too, was like that. It was just everything Dick Van Dyke Show that they hit the tropes perfectly. I mean, I love even the whole first episode with having to impress his boss. That was some of the most fun stuff. They always had an episode like that back in those tropic shows like that, and it was so well executed. Of him you know what, I'm gonna look at you for promotion at the end, and I'm going, that to me is you got two shows in one. Do you know what I mean? You got your WandaVision show, and then you actually got a plot of a sitcom mixed in with what the true focus of the show is supposed to be. And that's kind of hard to execute, I imagine. I don't see too many shows successfully execute two plots at the same time and do them so well.
It's very hard, and you have to kind of make this fake world work while you're keeping the Marvel fans engaged. Wow, what is the deeper meaning here? What is actually happening? Because obviously this isn't real, and whatever is real within this pocket of reality, like there can be deeper meanings, and these people are different people. I mean, obviously we know, Captain Marvel is in the second episode there in the form of Monica Rambeau, right?
Yes.
So how many things are going on throughout all of these little seemingly meaningless plots?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's had a mind-blowing thought.
Yeah. I mean, when the commercials would come on, like I would lean forward, like, okay, what are you trying to tell us here? Yeah.
Now, is there any chance that she is in a sleep coma or shock? Something after Vision? Do you know what happened with the Vision at the end of Endgame? Because it seems like they're trying to get through to her, obviously, in this show. And like in House of M or Avengers, House of M, the start of it was Quicksilver was watching her as she was in a sleep, right? In House of M. And then they were deciding of X-Men and the Avengers of where to go next with Scarlet Witch. Or was she awake with Quicksilver during that part of the story? I'm trying to remember right now.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
I think it's one of two things. One, this happens when she breaks his stone in his head.
Okay.
And I know it's like a split-second thing, but I mean, you can make it that all this stuff happened within that like moment. I mean, you just exploded an Infinity Stone. Or it's a reality that she's created that is actual reality.
Who's watching her?
But a reality that she created, but somebody is influencing her.
Yes.
And is like it's her powers. Because we heard through the radio, like, Wanda, who is doing this to you? Now, we know she's powerful enough to do this, but under whose influence is she doing this?
Right.
And of course, it could be Mephisto, like I said in the last episode.
Yeah. And
it's like,
or it could be, a nightmare, like I said in the last episode, too. It's possible.
Look at that.
And I only say that because all the episodes end like a nightmare. Right? Everything starts going wrong, right? Everything starts going bad, and it almost gets like too real, and then she freaks out.
Then she fights,
But one thing that I think, like the whole sword, how they had the sword helicopter?
Yes.
And it crashed, right? It made this big noise, but it was like this little helicopter sitting in a bush. And it was colorful. To me, it was more of like a representation of literal like size. So like this is like it's saying like, look at this little helicopter, but it's like this is on a very large scale, which is why swords involved, right? And swords in outer space, so they might be monitoring this from maybe even space, and they're like, wow, look at all the mess that she's making in this area. And even though these loud noises keep happening and it keeps being like really nothing, but it really is something, it's just she's not allowing it to come in.
Their helicopter gets into that reality, and it literally becomes something else, because like we saw that the beekeeper, right, who had a shield logo, but like what was the bee thing, right? It was simply a shield agent, but obviously reality got distorted once they got in, when he came up through the sewers. So first they came into the air with a helicopter, right, and that didn't work. We saw it was the colors, it was Iron Man colors. I don't know if there's some symbolism there. And
it was
then
number 57, which represented the first Vision appearance too, as well.
Avengers 57, right?
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of little things like that, and you have to do internet research almost to catch everything, because there's so many things that are quick. Something that had a lot of Easter eggs like that was that that cartoon, that Bewitched style cartoon opening sequence. Off the bat, the milk that Wanda is buying is I forget her name, Bova milk. Who Bova is sort of she was believed to be the mother of Scarlet Witch. She's like a cow that the High Evolutionary created. So that was a reference to Bova, her her mother cow. She's like a cow-looking mom. She looks like a cow, but she came from the High Evolutionary. Right? It's like nobody caught that, right?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But the biggest Easter egg, I think, is when they show, like, starring Wanda, and the part where they say, and starring Vision, there's a shadow of a man's head, and the helmet is clearly Grim Reaper.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So is Grim Reaper have to do with what's going on here? Because it was very prominent.
Well, Grim Reaper is Simon Williams' brother.
Oh, Wonder Man!
Yes. And Simon Williams, Vision's brain patterns. That's what I was thinking too this week, because we didn't talk about last week, is that they're hinting at Wonder Man being brought into this universe.
Well, there was like rumors of him being casted Wonder Man for the last Guardians movie, and then it never really, never really came to fruition. So they've definitely been planning Wonder Man. They just haven't really figured out. It seems like they just haven't figured out how they want to use him until maybe
and
now.
more than that, they filmed things with him because they actually had Nathan Fillion playing. What's his name? Ken. Thank you, Simon Williams, and he's an actor. And in the sequence where Ego is on Earth with Star-Lord's mom, they cut this out, and they had all of these movie posters. With like a Simon Williams movie festival, or maybe that wasn't the exact same, but they had that, and
that makes sense because Simon Williams is an actor, in West Coast Avengers storytelling. Now, speaking of that storytelling, theory-wise, if they're following through with this whole Simon Williams Grim Reaper thing, now Simon Williams' brain patterns is what Vision in the comics mindset was copied after.
Yeah.
And in the comics, there was a story where Wanda went back to Simon to try to get his brain patterns again, to bring back the Vision from a storyline where Vision was disassembled, I guess you would say, like where they rebuilt him, but he had no memories of Scarlet Witch at all.
Interesting.
So there is possibility, I wonder if this is going to be her way of trying to bring back Vision, is like that she needs a host for brain patterns. Like what did Tony use for the brain patterns for the original Vision robot?
So he didn't. So in the MCU, he didn't create Vision. Yeah, he created. So the way the MCU is handling it, he did Jarvis, and that's where Vision came from. And then he created Ultron. Ultron created the body for Vision, which had Jarvis in it, and that's why it's Paul Bettany who played Jarvis and subsequently Vision. So there's a bit of it's a little different than the comics, I guess.
So the whole like Ego thing, when Ego in that little scene, you see Wonder Man, whatever. So that could possibly be the Wonder Man we're going to know as Vision, because that's a flashback to the 70s.
Here's the thing: why did they cut it?
Why did they cut it?
They cut it. So they cut it. They must have cut it for a reason, because something wasn't working. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Storytelling wise.
So because it's like we can't consider it canon because it's cut out.
Oh, because she's going to bring him from that time and into
for whatever their plans are. It could not work for whatever they were trying to do with Nathan Fillion.
Makes sense,
man, dude.
You see?
Yeah. So it's something in way.
What did you say you cut out?
Something intriguing's on the way, and it's kind of like this puzzle pieces are being spoon-fed to us pretty effectively. Because that's it too. It's like that I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm trying really hard, and it's like a lot of puzzles in there that are
really fun, isn't it?
There's also the Hydra logo on the watch.
So
yes,
we had a commercial in each of these. There's the Hydra logo, but the brand name of that watch was Strucker, which is a reference to Baron von Strucker, who in the MCU, that was after the credits scene where that introduced Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, when he's referring to the miracles when he spawned them with the Mind Stone. So who knows, was he in league with the High Evolutionary to kind of create them? with the Mind Stone? And also, what is the purpose of these commercials? Now, are we insinuating that Baron von Strucker is behind this? Because Ultron killed him, right? So that's the second commercial. That's the episode 2 commercial is the Strucker watch. The first commercial was the toaster. Okay. We had the toaster. Here's your old toaster. It burns the toast. And it shows the new toaster. The toaster clearly had a face. It had the 2 knobs and it looked like a smile, right? But it said Stark on the toaster. Is this a reference to Tony Stark, or is this a reference to Ultron?
Probably.
Because in the MCU, Stark created Ultron. And now are we going through Wanda's history in a subliminal, symbolic way? So like first we're doing the toaster, which is Ultron or Stark or both, and then Strucker.
And technically,
right? So now we have to see what the third one is.
Ultron is Vision's dad.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, both of those characters have deep connection to Scarlet Witch and or Vision within the MCU.
Right.
So we got to see where this is going. So maybe this is how we're going to figure out who the villain is. We're going through the villains that they dealt with already. And then once we get through them all, like maybe the last one will be Thanos. Like maybe it'll be a bracelet with 5 or 6 stones or whatever it is. And then like all of a sudden making a deal with the devil. Speaking of which, now, kind of jumping into it, the second episode there, they talked about the devil is in the details, and Agnes says that's not the only place he is, and I was like, oh,
nice.
So here's a question:
Mephisto is hanging out somewhere. Come on.
Well, so here's one thing: one, do they make Mephisto, or they make her part at, like, you know how sometimes Marvel decides, hey, we're going to take 2 characters, push them together. Is she going to be more of Mephisto? Like, because I could almost see her being Mephisto / her character, just because she's been influencing episodes. And
I see what you're saying.
I would tell you my theory on that?
Sure.
I put my theory. I think she's actually mentoring her out of this, because I think that's actually Agatha Harkness, the Agnes, like more or less a pseudonym name for her. And she's the one that kind of helped Scarlet Witch learn how to use her powers and how to more or less figure her way out of things, so she doesn't go into these like mind slip realities.
There's a lot of credence to those rumors too.
Yeah, I mean, she's always like trying to, like, she introduces her to the neighborhood.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? She's like, oh, hi, neighbor. And she's always like an upbeat attitude towards her, so she's trying to keep her from going to her dark place. It kind of feels like. And you can tell there's a little bit of fear inside of Wanda, obviously. Like, they're afraid of, obviously, the sounds that are coming around, the trees out the window. It's like that. She's afraid of her reality falling apart. And she's trying to restructure the reality where her husband is still alive, is what I'm kind of getting out of that. Whether it's true or not, because her reality that she dreamed of ends in Endgame, when Vision was, I guess it was at the end of, was it Endgame, right? Where Vision died?
No, it's Infinity War, the end of Infinity War.
Infinity War. Okay.
The Mind Stone gets ripped out. But she's fine at the end of Endgame. She talks to Hawkeye. And they kind of have that moment because Hawkeye lost Nat and lost Vision. She lost Quicksilver, and they kind of have a little moment there. Yeah.
Okay. So just kind of like figure out, because she seems desperately like trying to make sure that the Vision is alive, because that's kind of one of those things too. Is like that. I guess I don't know. It's pretty obvious, I guess, but in the reality, the Vision's not there. It's just her trying to have a reality with the Vision there. Correct? Is that what you guys are getting to?
Yeah, I think so. So there's something. See, there's so many layers here.
Yeah.
If you look, and I haven't noticed this, if you look at one of the posters for WandaVision, they did close-ups of each of their heads. There's something different about one of the black and white Vision ones. His Mind Stone looks like a different construct, like a mechanical construct. So did somebody fix him along the way? Because obviously you can bring Vision back without the Mind Stone.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure it was working.
That's interesting.
That's a question. I think it's a question of whether it has happened.
So that's where Simon Williams comes in again too. It's like the new mind patterns are his mind patterns rather than Jarvis's this time. But is she trying to find a way to bring back magically, Jarvis's mind patterns into Vision?
Here's the
replace.
She just became
magically?
like 4 months pregnant at the end of the second episode.
Yes.
She wasn't pregnant, and then bam, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, what does that point to? Mephisto. Right? But if we're talking about combining characters, I wouldn't see them combining Mephisto with Scarlet Witch, but I could maybe see them combining Mephisto with Nightmare.
Yeah.
I think Nightmare or whatever, Doctor Strange villain, but Mephisto, I mean, we need him to bring about Ghost Rider. We might need to do this. I think Mephisto is more of the ongoing character. So like somebody else gets combined into Mephisto.
Okay.
So
or maybe Nightmare works for Mephisto, or maybe Grim Reaper does. Maybe both.
And if it is Mephisto, you would think that if they used him, he's not going to just be a WandaVision and Doctor Strange thing. That he could be potentially like a multi-movie character to be villains in. It's not just a small little villain. Or I'm not going to say he's going to be on the level of Thanos, but up there.
No. Well, Loki.
Yeah,
when the mailman came up to Agnes,
that was hilarious.
What did she say to him?
When the mailman came to, oh.
Because I thought it was gonna be Willie Lumpkin, and it wasn't Willie Lumpkin. She called him someone else, and she said, she said to him.
It's funny how she checked him out afterwards. It was a really good reference there.
Dennis. Dennis is the mailman from WandaVision.
Okay. And it's just like, it seems like everything's got a reason. I was just kind of, like what message was he trying to, because he's like the mailman, he's trying to deliver some form of message.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of turned, she did say some boundary. I can't remember what she said to him. It was trying like that. She didn't really turn him away. She said hi to him, right?
Yeah.
Also, it was just for the joke.
Maybe. Yeah.
The what?
The joke, like.
Yeah.
Well, because like she like checks him out afterwards and then makes like a whatever face, because like back in the day, used to sleep with the mailman and everything.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just for the joke. I don't know.
Can I just say that I love the 70s show, and it was great seeing Deborah Jo Rupp just do anything kind of relates to Marvel. That's
awesome. Yes. Oh, so, another thing too is like that. Have you guys heard who the her new friend's supposed to be? The one that sat next to her at that, the more or less.
You mean Geraldine?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel.
Yes,
that's what I was. Yep. Yeah, Photon, Captain Marvel. Or no, I'm sorry, not Captain Marvel. She's. I don't know if she. Oh no, she was Captain Marvel, right?
She was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, for like
in the 80s.
Yeah.
She was 80s Captain Marvel, and then became Photon.
Yep.
Or something.
Yeah, there's something else in between there too. I'm trying to remember what the name for herself was.
It wasn't Ms. Marvel. Anyway, regardless, yes, that's exactly who that is. Man. So to further,
so she's part of this then too, because in that sneak peek they showed her like going, I don't know what's going on here. So there's more than one person in this illusion. Do you know what I mean? Like that is involved with this illusion. Like I said too, it's like it's said too that radio frequency trying to communicate with her. People like once again like that hearing the voices talking to her through the radio transmission at that fundraiser planning meeting. It was there's so
when
go ahead.
The radio transmission came through, blood was actually red.
Come closer. What did you say?
Sorry. When the radio transmission came through, the blood was actually red and not like a
it
light.
Was. Yep.
Yes.
Kind of like reality starting to break through here.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
the helicopter was also in color. Yeah. So that was reality breaking through this this kind of fake world we're creating. So once again, it's starting to break. So here's some color, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that was like weird was the whole scene, the scenes where they kept chanting for the children. Does that have to do with her children? Does that have to do with her children, or it has to do with multiple like kids all around the world or mutants? What does it really mean? You know?
Yeah, but that's something.
Yeah.
That has to be something.
Yeah,
That's
for
something.
the children.
I was trying to figure out, like, what is that?
Because it could be the X-Men and like, you know, the beginning of the mutation, or her having her powers like give all these people powers, or just her kids themselves. Like, what is it? What does it exactly mean? Is that the moment when she ripped out part of Mephisto's life essence to make her own kid?
Maybe.
So, crazy connection I just found while I'm looking this. Where did it go? This gal here who plays Agnes, who everyone suspects is Agatha Harkness, right? That actress is Catherine Hahn. Okay, this is her first MCU appearance. But did you know she voices Doc Ock in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting, right?
Yes.
I mean, I like her in Step Brothers, but yeah.
Awesome Step Brothers.
Why not? I mean, sure. And, you know, furthermore, she's dressed as a witch, you know, in the trailers, right? So, I mean, every little detail counts, right?
Yes.
I mean, isn't that the point?
How about the Scarlet Witch's outfit for the show for the
Halloween? You mean the trailers?
No, I mean for the episode 2 for the magic show.
Oh, for the magic show. Yes.
What about it?
She looked like Zatanna, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like it looked like a little homage to.
Well, they were Illusion and what was it? Illusion and Glamour.
Yeah.
Glamour. Thank you, Susan. And those were two magicians that they run into in one of their comic books. So that's what that was a reference to.
Okay.
So interesting. And I want to say it's probably even a little more than that, because I mean that's straightforward. But I mean this whole thing's right. So I mean I think it even runs deeper than just those two magicians. But it's still cool.
Can I derail us for 1 second?
Yeah, of course. That's why we're here.
There's no way that like Vision swallows gum, that like he just doesn't work anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all gonna agree with this. Like that was just
I thought it was funny.
like it was funny, but like there's no way like he just throws some gum down his throat, like it's over.
Yeah. And it makes him drunk, not just dysfunctional. It just makes him drunk rather than stop operating. You think gumming it up, he would just cease to work. But they had him play like he was intoxicated. I guess there was. It was a toxin inside of his system, which was the gum. But it was kind of an interesting twist on it. Instead of just freezing up, he became inebriated, intoxicated with that gum inside of him.
Isn't he made out of like vibranium? His entire body, like
it's obviously an oversimplification of whatever it was that really happened, and wasn't meant to just be Vision swallows gum and he's drunk, you know. But yes, absolutely.
Or is it that they fix Vision and he's all messed up and it's all just her warping reality and it's just like him slowly getting back to becoming the Vision that you know and love?
Well, so Vision that we love is drunk?
No. It's like in reality, they like kind of fixed Vision, like after he got his head ripped out, you know, and like he's just not himself, but like he's still there, but he's just off.
So what's the purpose of his buddy network he hooked up with too there? At the library, the history of their scientific research, whatever they were.
Was that
like a
neighborhood
walk?
Or it's the Avengers from his
the
perspective?
Men's Gossip Club.
It's the Avengers from his perspective. It's like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah, and he called one of them a communist or something like that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so but
When's the Red Scare gum?
Yeah, the Red Scare too as well. It's like that. So it was like
red gum.
maybe that's
Got
gonna
big red gum.
play into the Black Widow movie.
And the communist
Maybe.
thing. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or
I don't know. I don't know.
Talking about the
Yeah,
Russians.
The Russians. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Huh.
But I'm trying to think of like that. Who else they could be hinting at there? But it's obviously the Red Scare, big red gum. You might be hinting on Mephisto though again,
Yeah.
because Mephisto's in red. He's scary.
Yeah.
And the devil's not the only place that he is. Like that proved it to me right there. After they said the devil's in the details, and they didn't just leave it at that. They said that's not the only place that he is. And I was like, oh man, he's somewhere. Yeah, I'm telling you.
So I think you might be on the right track there with being
And
Mephisto.
I'll tell you what too. Like, even if we get through all 9 of these episodes and like it's just Grim Reaper or whatever, after the credit scene, Mephisto's pulling the strings.
Yeah.
At the very least.
So one thing that I think is kind of weird, and I know you can say it's like maybe it's just part of her warping the reality, but how come after the first episode there was a little like after the credit scene where it's like a view from Sword's base almost of them watching this as a TV show?
Yep.
Yes, that's
But
true.
how do you explain them watching it as a TV show?
I think you're reading too much into it. It's like this is all from her perspective. They're monitoring signals on Earth and who knows wherever else. You know, like this is what she is literally projecting onto them.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of deep. What's going
It's
on
just
there.
the whole thing's just crazy.
It is good. I mean, but that's the point.
I know.
Yeah, Susan thinks it reminds her of Legion.
That's interesting. I'm not caught up on that. And I do want to finish Legion because I think it's underrated. And it's funny that you bring up Legion because I was texting Lance about WandaVision before we knew you saw it, and I was just like, hey, you know, this is a TV show, so like the only person we didn't bring up is Mojo.
Oh, that's
Right.
interesting.
We're
watching the Mojo verse, maybe.
That is right up Mojo's alley.
Yeah.
Because Lance was wondering if he was in Legion already, but I thought that we just thought that Mojo was in Legion, but it just turned out to be Shadow King.
Yeah, that was
like
Mal Farouk. Yeah.
Yeah, he did look like Mojo when we first saw those images, but I think they only did Shadow King, if I'm not mistaken.
That was Shadow King and Mal Farouk. The interesting thing was Legion was everybody in that show was in his head because he's multiple personality.
Yeah.
And every person in his personalities has different abilities.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really cool. And like, I love,
That show was a trip though too.
Mm-hmm. What's her face from Parks and Rec, Aubrey Plaza. And like when I found out like she was part of that too, I was like, wow.
Oh,
like,
wow, that's who that was. Oh,
that's
that makes
really
so much
neat.
sense why I liked Aubrey Plaza inside of Parks and Rec. Because I recognized her from Legion. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
You recognized her from Legion?
Because I'm going like that. Where do I know that actress from? And we looked up. She was in Legion. I go,
Yeah, that should have been reversed, but I guess that was the order of operations for you. That's funny. Yes.
I stumbled on this Parks and Rec after it was canceled for 3 years.
So that's interesting. So Parks and Rec, we have Star-Lord.
Yes.
And we have one of the multiple personalities of Legion.
Yeah.
Right? Interesting to see.
Who's Ron going to show up as?
Right. Oh, yes. I wish that would be awesome.
Ron's going to show up as what's the guy? Mastermind. He's going to show up as Mastermind.
Mastermind. I wouldn't mind that. Rick Offerman. Nick Offerman. Excuse me there.
Yeah. And
he plays Mephisto.
And who's Leslie Knope going to show up as?
Oh gosh, hopefully nobody.
What if Nick Offerman plays Mephisto?
A news anchor. Say.
What if Nick Offerman plays as Mephisto?
I don't know if I like that.
No, because you have him be like this such likable guy, you know, but like it's Mephisto. You just don't really realize it. Like you have two actors play him. Like it's like that's him. Like being like, oh, I'm such a nice guy, cool guy.
I would
but
love
then
to
there's
see multiple people
there's
play
another actor. Him.
just because, whatever.
Then you have Al Pacino playing, the other Mephisto.
I'm Mephisto. Oh ha!
Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah.
I remember there were rumors of Al Pacino during the MCU, and we were just like, oh, he's Mephisto. I'm Al Pacino. Mephisto. Oh man. Anything else for WandaVision before we wrap this up?
Can't wait till the next episode. I know that sounds tropic, but it's like that. I'm hooked in line and sinker, and I want to see where this is going. And the thing is, I'm so excited about the payoff because this is so cryptic. The payoff is going to be so mind blowing. You go, oh crap! This is no way, dude. All the pieces were there the whole time, and how could we not see it coming? I love those type of shows.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's
I'm gonna go. It's gonna have rewatchability, tenfold.
And Avengers.
Well, the name of one of the Young Avengers miniseries was called The Children's Crusade, and it was them trying to find out how to get back to Scarlet Witch.
Interesting. Wow. And we know this closely ties into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So, oh man, there could be so many revelations, and it's going to be interesting to see like what stays as an Easter egg and what is going to actually be revealed as part of the story. Like I haven't seen these newest trailers, but I saw the older trailers, and I feel like the trailers haven't shown us much, unless you guys tell me like I'm really wrong. Like I feel like we got through a lot of what the trailers already showed us.
Yeah.
So it's left. There's 7 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's gonna be like a lot of, I think, unloading in the third episode of stuff, because you're almost at the halfway point at the end of that episode. You're past that. You're at the halfway point. Episode 4 is like that. You're in the, you're into the second half.
Episode 4 is the end of the second half. Oh, so disclaimer.
End of the first.
I don't know if we talked about this. We have been wrong about how many episodes WandaVision has been this entire time. Right before we recorded last week's episode, I don't know how we missed this, but it was just a couple days before it was confirmed that WandaVision is 9 30-minute episodes and not the 6 1-hour episodes like originally thought. So I don't know what happened between all that we missed this news.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was only very recently confirmed, and I also don't understand how it was only something that was recently confirmed. So I don't know if this is something that changed, because it's still roughly 6 hours, no matter how you stick the cookies here, or the cow, or whatever you want to cut up.
The cheese, just don't do that.
It's still roughly 6 hours. So I don't know if this is something that changed.
I don't know if maybe they just oversight and they didn't announce it, because the episodes are obviously like there's a beginning and an end, and that it clearly ends. So it had to have been 30 minutes, but maybe they just.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have no idea, but it, that was something we misreported, but only by like one episode, because like it wasn't really too prominent of news. So I don't know. Still roughly 6 hours of content, but it's 9 episodes. So this is all going to conclude in March. So we'll see how often we kind of bring these up, because this is a lot of fun. And as long as nothing gets spoiled, gosh, this is really fun to kind of pick apart and speculate.
Dude, I don't think there can be much after what they did with Luke Skywalker. I don't think there'll be any spoilers.
I hope so.
Anymore. Because as I said too, for them to execute Luke Skywalker as well as they did, there's going to be some fun stuff we'll see in Vision, I still think, or WandaVision.
I really hope so. I mean, and if you have Sword, where's Nick Fury? It does lots of places.
Oh yeah. Well, dude. Plus the whole Secret Invasion, is that going to be a TV show too?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Maybe
it's going to be like a Secret Invasion, be a spinoff because Sword's getting involved. You might have Secret Invasion be the spinoff of this show.
We can go on and on and on and on. Well, sorry, Lance, what were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Oh no! Sorry, I blew it. That was my
It's
bad.
okay.
I got excited.
I don't remember. I don't know.
It was about Mephisto,
I don't remember. My
Grim
ADD,
Reaper.
my ADHD is just,
the beekeeper, which rhymes with Grim Reaper.
What's beekeeper rhyme with?
Grim Reaper.
Oh yes, Grim Reaper beekeeper. I don't know.
I know.
Could be creeper beeper.
I'm gonna confess, like I pulled up multiple tabs on WandaVision, and I was scrolling denofgeek.com, and it says the beekeeper. It rhymes with Grim Reaper. Like, okay. And then it says, or is he Swarm from Spider-Man and his amazing friends? So
Yeah,
that seems like a lot to cram in, though.
no, I don't think so.
I think that's the last thing.
Oh.
Out on the very low odds list. Would that be like 10 billion to 1? If we had to make odds on that?
All right, one more Easter egg before we wrap this up.
Okay.
In the cartoon sequence, I mentioned the cow thing. I mentioned the Grim Reaper thing. When they're together in the living room, on their side table, there is a vase, right? And it looks like the Wizard.
The Windsor?
The Wizard?
What did you say, the Wizard?
The Wizard? WHIZZR?
Where was that at? In the cartoon?
Yeah, in the cartoon for the sequence, the opening sequence for the second episode, there's a vase that's just like the Wizard.
Okay.
And of course, the Wizard was already in Netflix's Jessica Jones.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And the
Yes.
yellow jacket, but there's like, clearly like a W on his chest, and he's got like,
And he dies,
like a-
right?
yeah, he did die in Jessica Jones. But it was in there. So why did they do that?
Was it his ashes in an urn?
Oh,
Oh.
Oh no. The Wizard. I don't know. Good question. Strange one.
well, it was an Easter egg.
Yes.
But I mean, he runs fast like Quicksilver.
Oh, maybe that's the hint.
Yeah.
The Wizard.
Man,
I just want Quicksilver back.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a. So it was in yellow, you said? It's his costume?
well, I mean, you know what the Wizard looks like, right?
Yeah. But what was the color of the costume, the guy that was speeding across? Color.
So
In that-
okay,
in
the
that
Wizard.
segment.
As far as the MCU goes, the Wizard's only appeared in Jessica Jones, right? And he
Yes.
died. The Easter egg in WandaVision, in the cartoon opening sequence, there
Okay.
is a vase in their living room, and it's shaped like the Wizard.
Okay.
It has this costume and has little wing ears, and like a V/W thing across the chest. And I'll send this to you guys here. So there it is, just so you can see it. But it's clearly the Wizard. What does that mean? I have no idea. According to the direct.com article, there's a comic, Vision of the Scarlet Witch, Volume 1, Number 2, where the Wizard dies at the end of the comic fighting for his one true son. Oh, I don't know.
It's weird.
But that's clearly the Wizard.
It's just
That's
kind of
what you-
a weird reference.
It is weird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so is her cow mom.
But it makes sense. I mean, the Wizard
Yeah.
really makes no sense.
Are they going to do the cow? You know?
Yes. That is strange to try to connect in Jessica.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's just saying like, hey, the Netflix characters are coming soon because doing Netflix, they couldn't use them for 2 years and we're approaching that mark. So any day now we can see Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage show up.
Or the Wizard.
Or the Wizard. Or just the Wizard.
I'm so excited to see the Wizard.
Goodness. All of that, we were just waiting for the Wizard. Like, who would have known that when we got the rights back from Netflix that the Wizard would have been what we got and not Daredevil, Punisher.
Yes. It's like that's just like them saying like that. They'll love anything. We can put anything in front of them. Be happy with it.
Yeah, maybe it's just
the Wizard.
I don't know.
Not
Maybe
exactly Luke Skywalker.
Maybe yeah, that's for sure. Maybe we're just reading too much into it, and maybe just all these people that have died are going to start coming back, like Quicksilver and the Wizard and Vision. I don't know. We're just looking at it weird. We'll see.
That's true. That's the two. Let's just bring everybody that's dead back again.
That's the Marvel way. This is the way.
It's like the book should read "Dead and Back Again." The Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins.
the Wanda's Tale. But I think anything else before we wrap this up? Because we tried to wrap this up like 20 minutes ago.
I think that's a wrap.
All right.
Did you see did you get the little joke about, when she goes into she's going to put the plates away and it breaks on his head? Your indestructible head. And she had to explode his head, and it took her so long to blow up his head. It's kind of...
Or Thanos ripped the stone from his head and it was not indestructible.
Yeah.
So he died.
Yeah.
Very deep. Yes, it will all be revealed. We'll see what was right, what was wrong, what was both.
Yes.
What was predicted, what we were misled about in the coming weeks here. And it'll be very fun. And it was really fun to talk about this because I think that was the point. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? Because there's all these Easter eggs and surely what are we doing with this Netflix? Not Netflix show. Disney Plus show. It's going to be really fun to figure out. But thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate your support. The U.S. or any of the countries that you guys have been listening in. Thank you for listening. We got some cool stuff coming up. We got some guests lined up. We're going to announce that here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Ken?
Yeah, dude, thanks again for listening, guys. And may the Scarlet Witch mystery continue. And Drawn to Comics is located in downtown Glendale. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we appreciate you listening, as always.
And you can catch me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram at Tales of Lance.
Yeah, and we're going to have to play a game or something soon, do something special for you guys. And man, I wish you could see us right now. I can't wait to do Nightcap Chat again in person because I've made my home office, which I work in, like a little studio. I've got a little couch, a little chair to sit in.
Nice.
I got microphones, and I'm about to put up a little curtain and a logo behind us, and it's going to be lots of fun. And we'll see how this develops over the next few months. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for listening. I just found out also that we're on another platform that just came out just a few months ago. I didn't ask to be a part of it, but it's okay. And it's a new platform called Verbal. That's VURBL. Nightcap Chat is now available on there. It's a new platform. You can listen to Nightcap Chat for free on there, which is great. You can listen to Nightcap Chat for free wherever you're listening to it. But we're now on Verbal. It's a new thing.
Never heard of that.
Yep, I haven't heard of it either. Well, it's new. That's why we haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
But we're proud to be a part of that family too. So wherever you listen to Nightcap Chat, we're available. But thank you all so much for listening. We love you. Be safe. And we will catch you all next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.